There are countless houses perched on cliffs over thousands of feet high. How could people in ancient times have built such wonders, suspended between the sky and the earth, on cliffs where everything seems precariously balanced? In today's video, we'll explore these incredible cliffside homes, where narrow stairways and delicate wooden bridges lead to historical sites that leave every visitor breathless with awe. Number 10. The Mountain Temple in Daozhen County, Guizhou Province. Perched on a cliff over 3,280 feet above sea level, about 1,000 meters, the ancient temple of Daozhen County in Guizhou Province is both unique and challenging to reach. From an aerial view, the temple looks like a small dot amid the majestic mountain landscape, surrounded by thin cliffs. To reach this temple, visitors must navigate a narrow concrete path recently repaired, which winds halfway up the mountain, overlooking a small village. This highlights the height and difficulty of the journey. The temple has stood for over 600 years, predating the Ming dynasty and bearing witness to many historical changes. During the Qing dynasty, it played a role in General Wu Songgui's northern expedition, where he commanded his troops and flew flags to rally their spirits. Despite the passage of time, the temple remains a historical symbol for the region. Constructed of wood and stone, the wooden pillars remain sturdy despite the effects of time and harsh natural conditions. Although it has undergone renovations, most recently in 2014, the temple has preserved its distinctive ancient charm. Stone tablets, possibly from the Qing dynasty, particularly the Tongji era, still stand here. Locals recount that monks once resided in this temple, though now only a single caretaker remains. This temple is not only admired for its ancient architecture, but also surrounded by breathtaking natural scenery. The towering cliffs and centuries-old trees growing on rocky ledges create a scene of rugged tranquility. Rare, protected trees add to the serene atmosphere, as does the thrill of stepping on steep cliffs, leaving all visitors in awe of its unique beauty and the sense of suspense it evokes. With a 360-degree panoramic view of the expansive mountain range, this temple serves as a sacred place of worship and a destination for those seeking a blend of nature and history. Many visitors choose the first day of January, or June 19th, to pay respects, expressing their reverence for a temple steeped in centuries of history. Number 9. Cliffside House on a mountain peak in Yinjiang, Guizhou Province. On an isolated mountain peak in Yinjiang County, Guizhou Province, there is a house clinging to the steep cliffs. The surrounding landscape is awe-inspiring and full of danger, accentuating the marvel of this structure, which once served as the golden peak of an ancient Ming dynasty temple. Remarkably, the temple remains inhabited and cared for by a 90-year-old woman who has lived here for 17 years alongside another woman in her 80s. The temple comprises 3 main buildings, a brick house at the center and 2 wooden houses on either side. This is where the elderly resident lives, worshiping deities such as Guanyin, the Medicine Buddha, the Jade Emperor, and the Sun God. Dating back to the late Ming and early Qing dynasties, the temple has endured many upheavals, including destruction during turbulent historical periods in China. Yet, it stands resilient thanks to the local community's dedication. Preserving and restoring the temple is a laborious task, particularly due to the challenging terrain. Construction materials like cement and sand must be transported in small quantities, carried manually or by horse, over narrow, steep paths. Local residents and benefactors contribute money and effort to protect this structure. The journey to the mountaintop is a real test of endurance. With almost vertical sections, visitors must navigate narrow concrete paths and occasionally use ladders to reach the upper levels of the house. Significant funds, raised by local benefactors and the community, were spent on road repairs. Number 8. Cliff houses in Chongqing. Perched on towering cliffs in a remote part of Chongqing, this temple exudes a simple yet unique beauty. Seeming like an isolated retreat amidst wild nature, It's built right on the cliff's edge, creating a sense of complete detachment from the outside world. Next to the main temple is a large cave, providing a simple yet sufficient living space. Inside the cave, there are beds, tables, and a wood-burning stove filled with dry firewood. The rough stone walls remain untouched, preserving a natural, rustic feel. Gaps in the cliff act as natural ventilation, keeping the interior cool, especially during hot summer days. This place is a daring feat, with cliffs beside the temple lacking guardrails and a dangerous drop below. Despite the treacherous terrain, the temple was built and maintained with only the simplest tools. All materials, such as cement and sand, were carried by hand or horse across narrow, steep paths. The route to the temple is just as challenging, with many steep sections where visitors must climb narrow concrete steps. Sometimes ladders are needed to access the upper levels, adding both thrill and excitement to the journey. Number 7. The unique building on a cliff in Xinjiang County, Guizhou, China. Standing on a sheer cliff over 3,280 feet above sea level, about 1,000 meters, hidden in the remote mountains of Chongqing County, Guizhou, this ancient wooden temple leaves all who see it in awe. Built right on the edge of a precipice, it stands defying the forces of nature. Looking like a simple wooden structure from afar, yet when you get close, the sheer risk becomes apparent, where one wrong step could lead down to the depths below. The narrow, rugged path leading to the temple is only accessible on foot, with stone steps carved directly into the cliffside over countless years. Originally, there was no pathway. The ancient builders painstakingly chiseled each small step, each just large enough for 1 foot, making each step feel like walking on the edge of a perilous cliff. With no guardrails, there are only old, weathered chains anchored into the rock as handholds for those brave enough to climb. The temple itself is built right on the cliff's edge, separated from a sheer drop by mere inches. Inside, the cramped space feels aged but solid, with wooden beams and posts still secure. The temple houses revered deities draped in red cloth, creating a quiet and solemn space amid the rugged nature outside. Although the building is just a modest wooden house from the outside, its presence on the cliffside infuses it with a sense of sacredness and mystery. From the temple, visitors can view the vast, breathtaking scenery below. Endless mountains and scattered green fields stretch beneath the mountain's base, creating a stunning landscape. However, a sense of suspense remains, knowing that only a few steps separate you from the depths below. Number 6. A wooden house on a cliffside in Sinan County, Guizhou, China. High atop a rugged mountain in Sinan County, Guizhou, China, sits a unique wooden house perched between dangerous cliffs. Painted a bright red, it faces a sheer mountain wall with a dizzying drop right below. From afar, this house seems isolated, making one wonder why anyone would build here, and whether anyone would actually live in such a precarious spot. Reaching this wooden house requires a grueling journey. The path from the mountain's base to the cliffside is a narrow, rough dirt track, and climbers often have to scramble over rocks with no stairway or safety ropes. One misstep could lead to a fall into the steep valley below. The hike takes about 2 hours, and each step demands extreme caution as every footfall carries a sense of tension. The house sits right at the cliff's edge with no trees around to provide shelter, only rock outcroppings that offer a natural barrier. Notably, the natural rock above forms a protective arch over the house, shielding it and the statues inside. The simple wooden house is surrounded by red cloths and offers a basic, humble shelter. From this spot, you can look far into the distance, viewing a Chinese district below. A vast, wild scene that makes one feel as though they're on top of the world, with everything below appearing small and within view. Number 5. The Hanging Temple on the cliffside of Renhuai, Guizhou, China. Suspended on a cliff hundreds of feet high in Renhuai, Guizhou, China, is a fascinating temple known as the Hanging Temple. Built during the Guangxu period of the Qing dynasty, the temple floats in mid-air, supported by a few slender wooden beams. Beneath it is nothing but empty space, nearly perpendicular to the cliff face, creating an intense sense of awe and anxiety when viewed from below. The mountain supporting the temple is steep and towering, with daunting terrain. To reach it, visitors must trek along a narrow forest path that clings to the mountainside, where tall grass almost hides the faint traces of an old trail. The journey up is challenging, with narrow, steep sections requiring patience and careful footing. Those brave enough for the climb spend about an hour and a half on foot to reach the temple, though, regrettably, its gates are usually locked, closed to visitors. This is due to the dangerous geography, making it challenging to ensure visitors' safety. It's hard to imagine how, in a time of primitive technology, people managed to build a structure entirely out of wood, floating mid-mountain like this. The temple, about 33 feet tall, which is 10 meters, is anchored by sturdy wooden stakes that have stood the test of time. These slender beams appear fragile but have endured centuries, becoming a symbol of resilience and ancient ingenuity. Although it's rarely open to the public, local villagers often share fascinating stories about the temple. One tale speaks of it being along the ancient salt trade route connecting Sichuan and Guizhou. Locals say that every year on the 19th day of the 6th lunar month, a temple festival is held, and those fortunate enough to attend can witness the temple's rare opening for ceremonies. Despite its remoteness and danger, the Hanging Temple continues to attract those interested in exploring the region's past and unique heritage. Number 4. The Longmen Hanging Tower. The Longmen Hanging Tower is not only one of China's most impressive Buddhist temples, but also built in an incredibly treacherous location, hanging on sheer limestone cliffs. Known as the Cliff Temple, this structure represents an extraordinary engineering achievement, combining traditional architectural art with deep spiritual beliefs. The Longmen Hanging Tower relies on natural crevices and caves as its foundation, seamlessly blending architecture with the dramatic mountain landscape. What sets the Longmen Hanging Tower apart are the walkways connecting its temples, with narrow wooden staircases dangling along the cliffside. Here, visitors can enjoy panoramic views of the magnificent landscape below, with green mountains and deep valleys stretching far into the distance. Besides its architectural appeal, the temple is adorned with intricate carvings. Locals believe these cliffside temples are in sacred locations, offering spiritual strength and good fortune to the community. Building temples in such challenging spots shows the people's reverence and determination in their Buddhist practice. They believe overcoming hardship and danger is part of their spiritual journey, reflecting perseverance and unwavering faith. Number 3. The Xuankong Hanging Temple. Xuankong Temple, located on the western slope of Mount Heng in Shanxi Province, China, is renowned not only for its stunning beauty, but also for its perilous, cliffside location, making it one of the world's most remarkable hanging temples. Built around 1,500 years ago, the temple sits about 246 feet, or about 75 meters, above the ground, clinging to a steep rock face, inspiring awe in anyone who sees it. The temple's beauty lies not only in its unique architecture, but also in how it merges with nature. Made of wood with sweeping curved rooftops painted in red and gold, it harmonizes with the harsh rocky terrain and the human touch's refined elegance. Narrow corridors connect the temple's various worship halls, all hanging along the cliff, giving an atmosphere of calm and quiet, but also awe at the boldness of its design. However, the temple's defining feature is its extreme vulnerability. It seems to hang in midair, supported by slender wooden beams anchored into the cliff face. The main support pillars are wedged into small holes in the rock, creating the impression of a floating structure. Any slight error in construction or maintenance could pose a risk of collapse. The temple is a sacred site for worshiping gods and Buddha, and a testament to human perseverance against harsh nature. Its narrow worship halls and statues of Buddha and Taoist figures sit in a tranquil, enclosed space, though underlying it is the ever-present danger of the cliff and harsh weather. Its existence over centuries has turned Xuankong Temple into a symbol of endurance and human strength beyond limits. Number 2. The Maijishan Grottoes. The Maijishan Grottoes, a significant Buddhist site located on the slopes of Maiji Mountain in Gansu Province, China, date back to the 4th century. The grottos are renowned for over 7,200 statues of Buddhas, bodhisattvas, and deities, along with nearly 11,000 square feet, about 1,000 square meters, of murals carved directly into the rock face. The uniqueness of these caves lies in their historical and artistic value, and in their daring location on steep cliffs. The massive statues and intricate carvings reflect a harmonious blend of Chinese Buddhist art with cultural influences from Central Asia and India. The Buddha statues, with their compassionate, solemn gazes, have retained their sacred dignity over thousands of years, showcasing timeless devotion and creativity. The narrow wooden stairways, barely wide enough for one person, make moving around the grottos a challenging and risky experience, with deep valleys below. Yet from here, you can take in the entire majestic landscape and sense the incredible combination of nature's marvels and human artistry. Number 1. Mount Fanjing. Mount Fanjing, part of the Wuling mountain range, rises over 8,200 feet above sea level, about 2,500 meters, in Guizhou province, China. It is one of China's most revered Buddhist pilgrimage sites. One of Fanjing's highlights is the Red Cloud Golden Summit, where 2 temples dedicated to Shakyamuni and Maitreya stand on separate peaks connected by a narrow bridge suspended in mid-air. This symbolizes the union of heaven and earth and presents a challenge for anyone brave enough to reach the summit. From the mountaintop, you can gaze out across vast stretches of mountain ridges, dense forests, and cloud-filled skies, creating an atmosphere of serenity and peace. Mount Fanjing is considered the 5th sacred mountain in Chinese Buddhism, associated with the Bodhisattva Maitreya, the future Buddha. Legend has it that Mount Fanjing was where Maitreya practiced and spread his teachings. Thus, it has become a pilgrimage destination for many seeking peace and enlightenment. To reach the summit, visitors must climb thousands of stone steps, winding through thick forests and along cliffside paths. Yet, the sight of the vast landscape from the peak, with its mountains, forests, and endless sky, makes every effort worthwhile. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss any upcoming exciting videos. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.